Hello friends, so let's begin this video where we understand the basics of stock markets starting from the beginning. The first thing which we want to highlight is, or which is always there in people's minds, is why should you invest? What are the various avenues for investments? And if stock markets, what are the benefits of stock market investments and what are the different venues out there? So let's try to understand the basics of stock market in this video. For guys who are already aware of the basics of stock market, don't worry, there is a lot of valuable content coming for you guys as well at the end of this series. But right now, let's take our other friends on board and let them understand the basics of stock markets, where we explain and drill down from the beginning. So let's begin with the first question, that why investments at all? Why should we invest? Well, we all know the difference between savings and investments. Savings won't grow your money. Of course, the first step is to save money and spend less. But the crux is when you don't just save in a piggy bank or in your wallet or in your cupboard, but invest that money, because investments will help you grow your money. So now comes the second question, that what are all the various investment avenues? Well, equities and mutual funds top my list, but then there are traditional investments like your real estate or even your FDs, which forms a core part of your portfolio. There are some new age investments into crypto, which one can explore. Of course, the gold and silver in commodities is a cycle which one should not miss, though they are cyclical investments. Then you have your insurance policies. So now comes the second question, that what basically all your assets should not be in one basket and you should diversify. So let's understand how equities or mutual funds work. Let's begin with mutual funds first. So there are basically three types of mutual funds, with equity mutual funds, debt mutual funds and balanced funds. Under equity mutual funds, the fund manager takes your money and invests it in various stocks depending on his expertise and the type of fund. Here you get an NAV and the units are allotted to you, and your investment rises or falls as per the NAV increases or decreases. Then comes the debt mutual fund. Debt mutual funds are relatively safer than the equity mutual funds because they don't invest your monies in the stocks, but they invest in government treasuries or the commercial papers, where you earn something called as an interest. So here the market risk is not there as compared to the equity mutual funds. The last or the third one is the balanced funds. Balanced fund is a combination of equity funds and a debt fund, and it is very famous for people who do not understand diversification. So you invest in a balanced fund where the fund manager himself will discreetly invest in equities or in debt instruments depending on the environment of the stock markets and the economy. So this is how the mutual funds are divided amongst the three categories. There are different ways under which even equity mutual funds can be diversified. Whereas it could be a large cap equity fund, it could be a mid cap equity fund, it could be a small cap equity fund, or it could be a flexi cap, which is a combination of the large, mid and small. So there are various investment ways in which you can invest in a mutual fund as well. So this was just a small brief scenario of how you can put your money in mutual funds. Let's go under equity segment. So in equities also, you have three basic segments like your large cap, mid cap and small cap. There's been another segment called as MSMEs, but we will not look into that for the time being. Let's focus on the large, mid and small caps, which are the three investment horizons into equities. Now equities are further classified into cash and derivatives. So these large caps, mid caps, small caps are a part of the cash investments. In derivatives, there come against two branches. One is the futures and one is the options. And again, the options is classified into another branches, which is called the call and the put. So if you found this matter useful and if you want more promising videos, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more details. So if you found